What's up, guys? Tyler here, bringing you another video. Today I want to discuss a question that I get quite often, actually, and as you saw with the title, that is, should I go to church? And it's kind of a more in-depth answer than some would expect. So I'm gonna dive into some scripture and we're gonna talk about this, and hopefully by the end I'll be able to provide you with a good enough answer as to whether or not you should go to church. And so the scripture I'm going to speak on today, I want to talk about Matthew 4:19. So in this chapter of Matthew, Jesus has just begun his ministry, and he's been going around and currently he's just been preaching in Galilee. As he's walking along the Sea of Galilee, he encounters two brothers, Simon, who is later known as Peter or Simon Peter, and Andrew, and they're both fishing on the Sea of Galilee. Jesus approaches the water and calls out, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And this is in verse 19. And in the following verse, it reads, "Immediately they left their nets and followed him." Without hesitation, they left their daily routine to follow Jesus. And this should always be our first response. Jesus should always be our first priority. So what was it that made this sentence that Jesus called out to them so appealing? These guys, they were fishermen. Jesus says he'll make them fishers of men, but they aren't looking for people, they're looking for fish. However, Jesus says, "Follow me," as a rabbi would to a disciple, or as a teacher would to a student. And keep in mind, these two guys are guys that would probably never even be considered a candidate to be a disciple to a rabbi. Not only did other people think that they were unworthy, but even they counted themselves as unworthy and unwanted. And yet Jesus says, "Follow me." But if we really want to dig really deep into why they followed Jesus so quickly, why they responded how they did, then we can find this in the second part of the verse, where it says, "I will make you fishers of men." Jesus is giving them an opportunity. You see, this implies that the fishermen would be given responsibility and a job even. They wouldn't be just students to Jesus, they'd be an intern. They would have the responsibilities, they would have a job to do. The reason that this was so shocking to Andrew and Simon is because rabbis and teachers of the time didn't recruit students in order to do work with them. They recruit them to learn from them and to maybe do slight tasks for them, but never to walk alongside them. Jesus is inviting them to actively engage in ministry alongside him. With the situations with normal teachers, the students were just there simply to learn. But Jesus says, "No, you're more important to me than that. You have capabilities and you can do a job, and I'm giving you a job to do." So what does this have to do with going to church? Well, we can look at this scripture to get an idea of where our priorities should be and what our responsibilities are as disciples. You see, Jesus says, "Follow me," before he ever gives any other instructions about doing anything. And this should be our most important daily task. This should be our first priority every single day, just following Jesus. Because let me say this, coming to the cross every day is exponentially and eternally more important than going to church once a week. With all that being said, does this mean that we should avoid church? Absolutely not. Jesus tells us quite a few times throughout his ministry whenever he was here that we should live in fellowship and worship him together. And what better way than with a congregation full of fellow believers willing to worship God together? Attending church gives us new opportunities to form Christian relationships, new opportunities to serve others, new opportunities to learn, and it also gives us the opportunity to bring others along with us so that they may have an encounter with Jesus as well. And I'll leave you with this, some scripture that might tie this all together, and it's Hebrews 10:25, and it reads, "And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." So focus on following Jesus first, but also don't neglect the opportunities that going to church may bring. Sound good? Awesome. Thank you for joining me in this video today. I was really excited to get this one out. I had some difficulty yesterday, and so had to reschedule to releasing today on Wednesday. If you're watching later, that probably doesn't have any effect on you. But again, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions. Don't forget to share this video. Please just share it with at least one friend so that we can build up the audience that I get to reach through these videos and hopefully bring people to become more devoted followers of Christ or even become followers of Christ. Thank you guys for your involvement and for watching this video. I've said that 3 times now, but third time's the charm, right? So see you guys in the next one.